Fellow citizens, good day. Today, the 5th of June, we join the international community under the guidance of the United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon in celebrating World Environment Day. The United Nations General Assembly established World Environment Day back in 1972 to mark the opening of the Stockholm Conference on the Human Environment. It is one of the principal vehicles through which the United Nations stimulates world awareness of the environment and enhances political attention and action. The theme for World Environment Day 2009 is "Your Planet Needs You. Unite to Combat Climate Change." It reflects the urgency for nations to agree on a new deal at the crucial climate convention meeting to be held in Copenhagen later this year, and is also linked with overcoming poverty and improved management of forests. I am pleased to reflect on the fact that my government is ahead of the game and has already declared all forested lands in St Kitts above the 1,000-foot contour as protected areas. The protection of the Central Forest Reserve further demonstrates my government's commitment to the reduction in greenhouse gas emissions. This is a tangible step since the management of forests continues to be one of the most effective ways in which we can neutralize the overabundance of carbon that the world continues to emit. Additionally, we appreciate the contribution from the Cuban government on the incandescent bulb project. I hope this kind of gesture and this very kind gesture on their part would have encouraged our citizens to continue to use these energy-saving bulbs over the traditional ones. The authors of World Environment Day designed it to highlight environmental issues and to encourage and challenge us to take appropriate action. This year's theme again focuses on climate change. Climate change has been determined to be one of the greatest challenges to mankind in this 21st century. The international community also recognizes that climate change will be devastating to small island states like ours. As one of the smallest island nations in the region, St Kitts and Nevis will be additionally challenged from the impacts caused by climate change. Coupled with the economic and financial obstacles we are currently facing, this is clearly the time that strong and life-changing environmental decisions have to be taken. My government acknowledges the difficulties that we face in adopting a more energy-efficient economy. We, however, recognize that energy efficiency and the use of renewable sources of energy is the only course of action for us, as we are determined to lead by example. The steps we have taken may be viewed as small ones within the global environment footprint, but I envision that by 2020, we would have transformed our own energy sector to 20% use of renewables and have adopted an aggressive stance on the incorporation and use of energy-efficient technology. My government would like to introduce in the upcoming years incentives for citizens who transform their households to use less energy-intensive technology. We have already made the first step in achieving this goal by rolling back the taxes on solar water heaters and we will continue to introduce further incentives as time goes by. It was earlier this morning that I was discussing the use of wind energy as an alternative source of energy for us here in St. Kitts and Nevis. Fellow citizens, I would like to use a challenge on this World Environment Day. Protection of our environment is basic common sense. If we continue to abuse our resources, we will have none in the near future. I would like to encourage all citizens today and in the upcoming weekend to purchase or to acquire a tree. This tree can be an ornamental one, like our national tree, the flamboyant, or it could be a fruit tree or some other tree that will last. Then take that tree, go out and plant it. This simple act collectively helps us to remove tons of carbon from the atmosphere and will be one more step towards preserving our fragile but life-sustaining country. But please, fellow citizens, plant responsibly. Get permission if you do decide to plant in a public area. The Ministry of Sustainable Development, through the Department of Physical Planning and Environment, has declared June as Environment Month. Today, the ministry plans to highlight the work of the department by demonstrating how the small changes we make can have very great impact. Please join them today in Independence Square for an exhibition on environmentally friendly goods and services. I would like to end by echoing the words of the Secretary General, Mr. Ban Ki-moon, in his speech for World Environment Day 2009. He states, and I quote, "The Earth faces the grave threat of climate change. While all countries will suffer, the poor will bear the brunt of the impact. We do, however, also have an opportunity to change course." End of quote. It is my government's intention to join the international community in December in Copenhagen to call for and seal the deal on binding greenhouse gas emission reduction targets for developed countries. If it becomes necessary, we as developing countries will adopt binding greenhouse gas emission targets as well. We may not be the main culprits in this regard, but we too have contributed to this serious problem. It has been said that no man is an island, but climate change is a grim reminder that no island can escape the environmental misdeeds of mankind. The threat of climate change is daunting, but inaction is not a sensible choice. Therefore, St. Kitts and Nevis solemnly pledges to do its utmost best to stabilize the atmosphere at an acceptable level of greenhouse gases. Remember, the Department of Physical Planning and Environment needs you in this effort. This country needs you, and your planet Earth needs you to unite to combat climate change. Let's fight this together, my fellow citizens. God bless you. Thank you.